Hi guys, it's Mike here from KS Bushcraft Down Under. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to re-spool this little closed face reel. So, I've had this one for donkey's years. Now, closed face reels aren't very popular in Australia. I think the ones that we got many years ago were really low quality. Where this one here is a little tank by Johnson, and it's a good little reel. Now prior to this I tried a fire line type thing and it didn't work particularly well. It was one of the early braided lines. Now for some reason when I worked in a fishing shop, people always had dramas trying to reload these, and they're pretty simple little devices. So obviously they're closed face, so they work by oscillating, which is straightforward enough, and a little pin comes out to pick up the line, which is there. So line goes in the front, wraps around here. Now they don't hold huge amounts of line, and basically they are limited in their quantity, but by pushing it forward you can actually see the spool much better. So we need to make sure that we don't impede this mechanism and we don't overfill it. So about 1/8 of an inch under this lip, because it's not reciprocating, so it's just laying the line as it finds it. So all I'll have to do is I'll push it forward, retract that pin, and I'll just strip off the rest of this line. So I'll do that off camera as soon as that's exciting, and then we'll show you how to tie it onto the spool, put the cover back on, and refill it. Okay guys, if the camera can pick that up, I'll just depress the spool to make it easier for you to see. So there is the original knot I put in, which is a uni knot or a hangsman noose if you want, and I'll have to get in there and cut that. There we go, so that's that simply enough done. So that's a low volume knot. So when I put the new line on, first I'll get rid of all this lot. I'll need to make sure I come through the front of the spool before I tie around. So today I'm going to be using this Maxima line. It's a good quality line. It's in hot pink. Now I predominantly fish with small lures, so the fluoro line is more of an advantage than it is a disadvantage. If I was to use bait, I'd probably tie on a fluorocarbon leader, but predominantly I just wander through the bush with this outfit, casting small spinners and stuff in small creeks. So this will be a good choice. So the most important thing to remember is to put the line through the spool cut. So I find it easiest to use the uni knot. Don't know whether the camera can see this line, it's so fine. So basically I just come back, form the loop. Now you want this to have a reasonable grab on the spool, you don't want it super loose. So make it pig's pistons. I'll go about 5 or 6, maybe 7. Slightly dampen the line. So there is my my loop. See, I've got an awfully big tail on it, but I'll trim that. So I'll slip that around the spool. Grab the standing part of my line. Okay. The camera can see that. So there she is, nice and neat in there. I can separate my tag end, get the other one out of the way. Doesn't matter if I'm... There we are. Make sure nothing went wrong. That's fine. So make sure when I put it back together this is tucked through so I don't get it caught in the threads. That's it. Okay, so now what I'll do now, I'll reattach it to a rod just to make it easier, and we'll start spooling up the line. Okay guys, I've attached it to the rod. It would have been easier if I'd left it on the rod, but it's just so hard to keep it in the camera frame so you can see. So I've got my fingers here, got some tension on it. I commence winding. So if your line's twisty coming off, it seems to be always better to have the spool facing up. A little bit of tension on it, not a huge amount. I'm not giving myself a line burn. Now every reel will be different, but 50 turns seems to be about the magic number. But what I'll do, I'll slip the spool off. We'll have a look, see how we're going. There it is there. Still got a fair way to go. So there you go. Make sure I don't trap that line. I'll put the spool back on. If I was to nick the line, that would be quite bad. Okay. Now these little closed spaces, they are excellent for, well, anyone. They don't seem to suit salt water well, not the ones that I've owned anyway. But for people that are just getting into fishing, kids, someone that just wants to have a bit of fun, I think they're really great. I really do. Now if you do get carried away, you can always remove some line. It's better, if anything, it's better to be slightly under than slightly over. So that is well and truly full. In actual fact, I may take off a little bit, which is easy enough to do. So to take it off, I just leave it in the open spool position. There again, I caught the line a second ago. So be real careful with that. You put that spool on. So when it's in its casting mode and the pin's retracted, at the moment it's locked, so I hit the trigger. So I'm overfilled. It's come around the front. Done with that. Sort of line out the way. Yep, so that is slightly overfilled. I need to remove some line. Through our cup. in the cast position, I'll just strip off some line. So it's far better to be a little bit under than a bit over, otherwise you'll have all sorts of dramas. Let's have a look. So yeah, that's full in my opinion. You can just see that lip there, you want an exposed lip. Now they don't hold that much line that re-spooling is going to be a drama. As in, you get plenty of refills from a spooler line. Just reassemble. Make sure it's coming off nice and easily. And we hit our handle. And we're locked. And there's the drag working there. So it's simple enough, guys. Simple enough. Anyway, guys, if you like the content I create, please subscribe. It helps me out greatly. And we'll see you next time.